Did you know that in ancient Mesopotamia, around 2300 BCE, there was a woman named Enheduanna, who not only held huge religious power but also became the world's first known author? Let's take a look into the world of strong Mesopotamian women and learn how they influenced their society, the challenges they faced, and how their life really looked like. A lot of people think that ancient societies were completely dominated by men, with women in the background. While it's true that Mesopotamian society was patriarchal, women actually had a lot more power and influence than you might think. They weren't just stuck at home. They played huge roles in governance, religion, and even commerce. One of the most amazing figures in Mesopotamian history is Enheduanna, the daughter of King Sargon of Akkad. She was appointed High Priestess of the moon god Nanna in Ur, and she's also known for writing the first literary work by a named author. Her hymns, like the Exaltation of Inanna, are still around today. In one of her hymns she wrote, "Queen of all the me, radiant light, life-giving woman, beloved of An and Urash, Hierodule of An, much bejeweled, who loves the life-giving tiara, fit for high priestesshood, who grasps in her hand the seven me." This shows just how influential she was, not only in religious matters but also as a literary icon. Another powerhouse was Kubaba, the only woman listed as a ruler in the Sumerian king list. She was a tavern keeper before she rose to power and ruled Kish around 2500 BCE. Her story shows that women could hold real political power even in ancient times. As the next, we have Shiptu, the wife of King Zimri-Lim of Mari. Unlike many queens, Shiptu wasn't just a figurehead. She actually governed the kingdom while her husband was away. You can see her power in letters from her husband, where he gives her full control over political and diplomatic affairs. From the women of the palace to the servants of the gods, let no one act without your command. This shows that she wasn't just a supportive wife, but that she ruled in her own right too. Next up is Shamuramat, the queen of Assyria in the 9th century BCE. After her husband's death, she took over as regent for their young son, Adad-nirari III. Over time, her name was turned into Semiramis, the legendary warrior queen who supposedly expanded the Assyrian Empire and even led military campaigns herself. Though the stories about her might be exaggerated, they show just how strong her impact was on history. Power wasn't just reserved for the royalty and priestesses. Mesopotamian women could be involved in business, own land, and even divorce if things weren't working out. Ancient legal records show that women could sign contracts, inherit property, and make important financial decisions. The famous Code of Hammurabi from around 1754 BCE had laws that protected women's property rights and treated them fairly in marriage. For example, if a man wishes to divorce his wife who has not borne him children, he shall give her money to the amount of her marriage price, and restore to her the dowry which she brought from her father's house, and so he shall divorce her. This shows that women could receive financial support even after a divorce. But of course, there were some double standards, like this law that dealt with adultery. If a man's wife has been caught lying with another man, they shall bind them and throw them into the water. But what happened when a man was unfaithful? He shall, as a fine, pay 1/2 manna of silver. This really highlights the harsh consequences women could face in certain situations, especially regarding marital fidelity. So, what did the average woman's life look like in Mesopotamia? Women's lives were deeply tied to their social class and their family roles. Most women were, of course, expected to marry and have children, and while marriage was a huge part of life, it wasn't always a choice. Some women were married off early, often at a young age. That said, women still had some freedom within their roles. If you were a widow or unmarried, you could own property, run your own business, or even work in religious institutions. As you already know, women could rise to important positions in priesthoods, and some of them were involved in trade and commerce. They could be seen in markets, trading goods, and managing their own businesses. In religious spheres, women could serve as priestesses, holding significant influence and power within their communities, just like Enheduanna. Education was another area where women could excel. Those educated could even become teachers or scribes. Women also had legal rights. They could appear in court, engage in legal disputes, and defend their property and interests. In the arts, women contributed significantly. They were involved in pottery, weaving, and other crafts, showcasing their creativity and skills. In rural areas, women worked alongside men in agriculture, helping to sustain their families and communities. Some of them even served as healers, using their knowledge of herbs and medicine to care for the sick. Overall, women in ancient Mesopotamia played diverse and vital roles, contributing to their society in numerous ways. If you were a single woman, life could be difficult because society saw marriage and motherhood as a woman's most important role, but it wasn't impossible, though it came with its challenges. From one side, there was a social pressure to get married, but, as I said a moment earlier, widows and unmarried women could become the entrepreneurs of their time. This gave them a bit more independence, even if they still had to follow strict societal expectations. So, was ancient Mesopotamian society a man's world? In many ways, yes, but the women in this civilization were far from powerless. They were leaders, writers, priestesses, and business owners, breaking barriers in a society that often tried to limit them. Their successes, and the fact that we still learn about them, challenges the assumption that women were always sidelined in the ancient world. What do you think? Did anything about Mesopotamian women surprise you? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, thank you very much for your time and see you soon in the next video. Take care.